So I realized this morning I talked about how I was going to do my Dexa scan, and I never actually talked about the results. So it's now almost 10 p.m. and I'm going to talk about it. So really cool. They give you the whole scan of your body from past scans as well. Today was my fourth one I've ever done, and I only had him do the last two though, so this one was in November when I originally decided to embark on this bodybuilding journey, and at that point I just started with my trainer, and the goal was just put on some muscle mass. So that was, of course, the main focus was not about cutting at that point. So fast forward to January, that's this middle one. So I actually gained 2%. So I was at 18% from the start, and then I was 18.2% in January for a couple of reasons. One, we were trying to actually gain weight because I was trying to put on some mass. But two, I actually got COVID in December, and my eating really didn't go very well during that time. It was even just eating at all was difficult. And then finally, when I got my hunger back, I was not prepping meals or anything like that. So this was expected. So this January of this year, boom, this was today, April 15th. So if you can see the yellow, that's fat, and the red is muscle. And if we look at this picture here, there's not a lot of yellow going on. So I went from 18.2% body fat in January to a whopping 9.84% here today in April. And first of all, a couple things. First of all, I never, ever, ever thought I would get to under 10% body fat, nor did I think I wanted to pursue something like this. But just the kick I got back in November, and then just continuing to roll with this has been, I just keep adding layers of discipline that I didn't know I, one, could do, and two, I didn't know that I wanted to do at all. But this is, the proof is in the pudding. Like, I've been following everything to a T, what my trainer has been writing, what my dietitian has been writing for me. And obviously, if you stick to something, it pays off, because I lost a lot of body fat percentage. I can't math right now. I'm a little under calorie, but that's like 9% body fat percentage that I lost, almost 9% in 4 months, less than that. So also my weight was 170.6 in January when I did the scan, and this morning, right before the scan, I was 149.4 pounds. Weird. It's funny because when I look at pictures, like, I like how I looked at 170, and I like how I look now. I'm obviously just leaner now, and I like both bodies. I just, getting leaner isn't making me feel like I'm have all this increased self-esteem. That comes from within, that comes from God, that comes from something outside of your body. But what I'm just so fascinated with what the body can do when you apply the right things to it. And I'm just beyond blessed that I found my trainer and my dietitian to work with, because I just literally could not have done this without them. And the weird part is I actually feel pretty good. Like, I feel good. I mean, I'm a little hungry, but not in a way that I think I would be ravenous and, like, angry at people and super low energy. This has been a much smoother process than I expected. But the absolute key has been preparation. If I wasn't preparing, like, on Sundays, if I wasn't purchasing food in advance, if I wasn't getting all of my meals for the week ready, this would be impossible, because I work a full-time job. I work over 50 hours a week most weeks, and that, coupled with training, coupled with meal prepping, it just wouldn't be feasible if there's not preparation. So that's of course incredibly important, and I really value the process, the bodybuilding process, much more after going through it all. So something else that's really cool about this Dexa scan, so when he was analyzing it, so let's see if I can find that paper. He gave me a lot of different sheets and graphs. Is this the one? Yes, okay. So this is the one. So he puts all these lines around to kind of help guide the ratios and like help determine all the math and everything. But when he was doing it, he was having a hard time around my trunk because my trunk is at about 4% body fat, which is insane. Also, which makes sense, I haven't had my period. My period just completely missed this past one because I'm getting a little too lean to actually like carry a child. So makes sense my period just straight up didn't come. Not good long term, but short term it's okay. But yeah, so 4% body fat in my trunk. But the coolest part is that when he was going through it, he was like, man, you don't have like any gas bubbles in there. He's like, normally we want to see, I see some gas bubbles and it helps kind of differentiate where the stomach is and everything. But there were no gas bubbles in my abdomen, which that indicates that I'm digesting very, very well and I'm really utilizing all of the nutrients that are being put into my body. And I can feel that. My gut feels great. I don't feel bloated. I feel good. I feel healthy. I don't feel like all, shriveled and like, I can't even get through this right now. Like, I'm just waiting till the end of the stage so I could like eat everything. Yes, I am excited to eat a lot of things I haven't eaten, but I'm also like pretty content. I look forward to every meal that I eat because it's all delicious. I'm not overly deprived. Like I'm still getting my micronutrients in and feeling pretty balanced hormonally. So I loved that he talked about the digestion piece because that's something that I know a lot of people get really screwed up with during this bodybuilding process. And I think because I've been working with the right people, that just hasn't happened to me. And my digestion is actually better than it was. Because if I look at my other little picture like this from January, you can see big time I have these gas bubbles in there. Just digestion just wasn't really, super optimal at that point. So let's see. So I talked about digestion. So I did lose a little bit of actual muscle mass too, which is expected. That's, when you're cutting, times it happens. But it wasn't a significant margin at all. It was only about 5 pounds of muscle mass loss for my entire body. But fat loss was 15. I lost 15 pounds of fat from January. 15 pounds of fat and only 5 pounds of muscle. So that's a pretty good ratio right there. The whole goal is to lose fat and try to retain as much muscle mass as possible. Mission accomplished there. Let's see, what else? Oh, a lot of things got more symmetrical, so kudos to my trainer, James. I had my right leg was a lot bigger than my left leg. I had 2 extra pounds of muscle on my right leg compared to my left. That's evened out a little bit, and same with my right arm versus my left arm. That's also evened out. However, my left side still just a little bit less than my right side. But overall, I just couldn't have been happier with the results. I was really hoping to be under 10% going into this weekend, and that's exactly where I sit right now. So, man, I'm just so looking forward to getting on the stage on Saturday. And if you watched the whole video, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions about Dexa scans. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'm happy to refer you to where I went. It's pretty good spot. He's really good at going through everything with you. But anyways, thanks again.